Is that,
So,
you'll be gone that night, right?
one of you two
I
on
will take it.
7 o'clock.
Yeah, I'll take it. May 1st, that's
May
Thursday.
1st.
Okay, I got it.
Happens to fall right on that, to the alley.
I changed the calendar, Tim's calling on it. I changed the calendar for May 1st.
Okay.
Tim, May 1st, is that your first day that you'll be on vacation? Okay.
Yeah.
And you don't have any time, neither of you have any time off planned or between now and then?
Nope.
Okay.
Have they been there? Yeah. Katie, where the door? Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Laura.
Good morning.
Good morning, neighbor. How are you this morning?
Hey, standing and not crying, right?
Well, that's good. Very good. It's gonna rain down there.
I know. Yesterday was so beautiful though. I was really soaking that up and I thought spring is coming, right?
It was not pleasant.
Knock the dust down down
Yes, my car, I do have a drive-through. We have a Moo car wash. I don't know if you've ever seen those, but we have one of those in Marysville. And once all the construction and I couldn't keep my car clean, so I did a monthly car washing thing, at least for
How
me.
does that work for you?
You have to be intentional, like with anything, so I'll drive and I look and I'm like, that's not very good, or
Yeah.
my windshield, even the fluid doesn't keep it clean, so I try to go at least twice a week. And you only have to use it 3 times a month for it to then pay for itself, so I try to get my money's worth.
Do you have a Honda? Do you have a Honda?
No,
Okay, they got free car washes with the Honda there on the north side of the.
oh really? My daughter has a Honda, I don't think she
You can
probably
drive
uses it.
through anytime you want.
Yeah, and that's the truth, we
Around
realize
the
it all
back.
the time.
Do you?
It's
That,
nice.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she absolutely should.
Yeah.
I had her car detailed not too long ago, cause I said, I'm embarrassed. And she's not embarrassed, but I was embarrassed. I'm like, you can't drive around like that. Your windows aren't tinted dark enough to have your car look like that. Okay, well, our monthly update.
Yeah.
So, for food assistance in the month of March, we were able to serve 3,442 recipients, which, was 1,650 families. The average participant received $181.77 for a total food assistance provided to Hardin County at $625,660. For cash assistance in the month of March, we served 126 individuals. Of those individuals, 1 was an adult and, I lost my place, I apologize.
125.
And 125 were children, for the total of $34,326. I'm gonna skip down to Adult Protective Services for the month of March. They received 15 reported allegations of abuse, neglect, and exploitation. Of those 15, 5 were screened out and 10 were investigated. Out-of-pocket cost for services, 2 individuals was $8. Net transportation, which was something I shared last time that I'm becoming more familiar with and taking a closer look at that, that we served 131 individuals and provided 878 one-way trips to those individuals. Our RFP is going out for transportation services, so that will be kind of reevaluated and I've taken a look at, maybe some ways to be more equitable across the board with the transportation with our new RFP that was put out.
Help me understand recipients of 131 and 278 trips. So does that mean that recipient may have had more than one trip?
Correct.
Okay. A recipient would have multiple.
Correct. You could have one recipient that utilizes it frequently. And then just as an aside, 641 individuals qualify for the net transportation. So of the 600, a little over 600, a little over 100 of them are accessing, or at least in the month of March, access the transportation services. With our PRC plan, we had 13 individuals who were beneficiaries of that for the total of $3,482. In the month of March, for fraud, there were 7 new claims established, and with our new fraud investigator and our new income maintenance supervisor, next week we're meeting with the prosecutor's office to familiarize ourselves a little bit about the prosecution of fraud cases, what rises to the level of prosecution and how they want to handle those now that we have a fraud investigator. So I'm interested in being able to really pursue those things to recoup any fraudulent funds. For our Ohio Means Jobs, we were able to serve 23 individuals that were dislocated or received PRC or EIP. We served 42 youth in the month of March, and a stat that I thought was particularly encouraging is we're also assisting 11 individuals get their GED. So I thought that was a great number and an encouraging number. It's going to open a lot more doors for those folks once they can complete their GED.
Good.
Now on to children's services. Well, let me ask, are there any additional questions about the other entitlement services before I go on? All right. So with children's services, in the month of March, we received 83 reports of allegations of abuse, neglect, or dependency of children. We have, and of those, 31 were screened in for investigation. And we currently have 31 kids in custody, and the total for their placement cost for the month of March was $123,119. That being said, those funds to pay for the children's placement costs come out of multiple, we try to recoup as much as we can from the different funding streams. But the fund that pays for the placement cost of the children has all but been exhausted at this point, and new funding for that from the state doesn't come out until the end of June.
The end of June.
Yes, so at this point, to cover the cost, it's due to the extreme cost of placement for the kids. That we have one child that's in our permanent custody that's over $40,000 a month for just one child. And we have 31 kids in our care. Those costs are nothing that the agency or the county can control. It's the facilities that will accept the children based on their trauma, their behaviors, their special needs, and that's what drives the cost. The state is very aware because it's across the state. It's not Hardin County specific. There are many directors of job and family services that this month and some even prior to the month of April that have had to go to their commissioners to disclose the need for additional funding to support the Hardin County kids. As part of the efforts that the state has made or is in the process of making, I am in a collaborative with Allen and Auglaize County and Hardin for, to develop our own, treatment foster family network. There will be billboards up in May, 2 billboards here, advertising the need for, treatment foster parents. I and 2 other staff last week completed a week-long, train the trainer, if you will, along with Allen and Auglaize County to be able to teach the new foster parents the curriculum that the state has adopted for their treatment homes, in the hopes to be able to keep some of these kids more local and help control some of the cost when it's up and running. So we continue to make efforts to try to make placement costs more reasonable, if you will, but unfortunately, that's nothing that can help my problem right now, which is covering the placement costs for those kiddos. So
Again, Amber, how much is in that fund right now?
$35,000.
$35,000.
And
That is as of April 15th.
yes, and that doesn't cover, that's after paying the end of the quarter has closed, so that was paying out March's placements, those don't count. So the additional funding that I'm going to request is to cover the placement costs for children for the month of April, the month of May, and the month of June.
What is the anticipated amount for each month?
Well, there were 2 ways when I met with fiscal yesterday that we can, if my request, if we wanted to do 1 month at a time, I would respectfully request $150,000. You know, these are the 31 kids we have in care currently, and there's no way for me to anticipate if we are in a situation where if there would be a fluctuation in that number. So, $150,000 if I was asking for the month of April. If you wanted to do where I did the 3-month ask up front and it was just 1 resolution, I would respectfully request $500,000 to cover the cost. And then if we didn't use all those funds would be paid back. I can submit a spreadsheet for each month that I attach with my monthly report to show you every dollar that was paid out for the placements, to show you where those funds were spent. So it becomes we can do it by the month, we can do it for the 3 months, whatever you all feel the most comfortable with. We can certainly be somewhat flexible.
Any thoughts, gentlemen?
I guess my deal is if we come back every month, God forbid if you get more kids than you're anticipating, that way we can, you know, I guess we can adjust for it in the end, but at least this way we know what we're carrying per month. I mean, that's my opinion.
Okay.
I have no problem either way, but I guess for me, that way we can see, you know, if knock on wood, you don't get any more kids. You know, regrettably, I mean, it's society, I hate to say that, but, you know, but we gotta do what we gotta do, I understand that, so.
What do you think?
I don't know if it makes, I guess I'd ask his question, if it makes any difference either way. I don't care either way, we gotta cover it either way, but, I'd like a chance to talk to Mike.
Absolutely, absolutely.
How soon do you have to have your money?
Yeah, when do you need yours?
It won't come due until next month. The bills are a month behind,
okay.
yeah, so
Alright.
the April bills will come through in May. We've covered our March bills, but then,
Okay,
So we'll take this under consideration then, and we'll.
Yeah.
talk with you on it about it.
and that being said, the $500,000 that I'm asking is a mere projection.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what we totally understand, that's why it's, for me, monthly, that way, if you have a bump, that way, you know. But if we can have a chance to talk to Mike, I agree,
That would be-
whatever he decides as far as
Yeah, I
easier for
just-
him.
Yeah, not that I can't think of any different reason why it'd be, but he may have a reason,
Mm-hmm.
especially, well, it's hitting the second quarter, so.
And he can call over and speak with Jody in fiscal as well, which is
Yeah.
who I met with
And that would be
yesterday.
good too, we can touch base with Mike, Mike can do some investigation with Jody to understand
Yes.
everything, then we can talk with him as to
Yeah.
potentially the best way to approach this.
Agreed. And we do have some time to get it all sorted out, so it's not a matter of urgency today.
Yeah, okay.
So how long, I guess, go back on the training with the three, Always Allen,
Yes.
or is it gonna be like a consortium as far as if you, does all the kids in Hardin stay in Hardin, or if they have to, like if they have a foster care in Allen County, they get out, I mean, I'm just kinda curious for me.
Yes, well, we will actively recruit out of all three counties. Allen and Auglai's currently license their own homes, so they have a pot of homes, so they're gonna, evaluate if they wanna step up their skills. So Hardin, we will hit it hard for recruitment to get some homes that wanna be in our treatment foster care collaborative. The goal is always that to keep kids in the county in their same school district, that's what we have to prove to the state why we can't keep them.
Okay.
The state, the expectation is that kids stay. Now that being said, and you know, that's the goal, keep kids closer to their families, to the
Right.
things that they know. That being said, once the collaborative is up and running and there are homes in Hardin County, there would have to be an opening in that home. That foster parent skill would have to be such that could manage the needs of that kiddo, but it's always our desire to keep them here, and we have to prove to the state why we can't.
Okay, makes sense.
Okay.
Well, on a positive
On a
note,
positive note.
we reached out to Ty Matthews, the state rep for this area, and he is going to, you know, how Commissioner Rush, when you did the ride-along with our staff
Yes.
that time, Mr. Matthews has agreed to come and spend some time with our agency workers to have an understanding of the difficulties that we have. So we were very excited. We reached out to him
That's good.
and he,
Good.
responded back very quickly. So May the 1st, he will be there at our agency.
It does give you a better feel for the day in, day out activities that go on and what you're up against in doing your job, so.
It's really a great initiative, and they usually do it in the fall. But we thought, you know, closed mouth doesn't get fed. So let's call and see if he would like to, and was extremely responsive. So that way he too will have a better idea as these types of issues are coming through, issues of placement costs, issues of, anything children's services related, he'll be able to, speak from firsthand experience. So we're very excited about having him with us.
I'm glad you reached out to me,
Yes.
that's good,
Yes.
that's good. You'll learn an awful lot.
Yes, that's what I can remember talking with you afterwards and the impact that it had on you, so we hope it will be the same for him as well.
It will be. Good. Okay,
Any other questions for me?
No.
no,
No,
we'll start doing some work on our end,
I gotta talk to Mike.
and then we'll have things put together so that when we have our next meeting, we can go for it. Keep us updated because if you look at a month-to-month thing, next month would be potentially $150,000. For the month of April here, and paid in arrears, payment would be, you're thinking 150. If you see that changing any, kind of let us know.
Absolutely, absolutely. I appreciate your time and your consideration.
Okay,
Thanks, man.
okay, thank you.
You snuck in on me. Have a good day.
You too.
Have a good day. Thank you.
see you.
Yeah, how are you?
Yeah.
I'm Chelsea Fortune, FLR.
Hi,
Nice to see you again.
Hello, Tim, how's it going?
Good, good.
Well, Chelsea and Howie, nice to have you here today.
Thanks for
Just to
coming.
let you know, as we go through our meeting today, that we do have people here that are present from the press, and then a citizens advocate who is taping all the proceedings from today's activities. And they will be broadcast over the internet and YouTube, so just to let you know.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, Chelsea, you
So we are running a little early, so I
Yes.
don't see any problem. Go ahead and rest. Thank you.
So, have you seen the invoice that was sent to Tori for this year?
Yes, I think so. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so overall, very good in comparison to last year.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and then taking off some other premium there for the county home, that definitely is helping things there on that end.
Good.
Yeah, so, overall, the increase compared to last year was only 3.52%.
Wow.
Very good.
That's not bad.
No,
But what sort of an average is through the state?
Well, for our pool in Ohio, this year we did see a 12% increase pool-wide. But, in the state, if you would look at other commercial markets, they're seeing anywhere between 15 and 25% increases. So as a pool in Ohio, we're still doing really well, phenomenally well, really. Where we're seeing our increases is on the reinsurance side. And that's just, unfortunately, you know, all the different natural disasters going on and so forth. There's just not a lot we can do about that, just trickles down eventually, so it's catching up with us on the pool side. So,
3.52%.
Yes, and that's there on that sheet alley, just past.
Yeah,
it
I
there.
see it.
Yep.
yeah, this is just something, just so we're just not throwing numbers out at you that we could, you know, kind of focus on and just run through, but I didn't wanna keep going.
Well, I know I was gonna be hearing an update on what was discussed last week with Sharon. On your April 10th meeting, she sent me an email, and instead of updating you, she said that I would be hearing an update from you, as to what you discussed more on the county home.
As far as what on the county home?
She had wanted to know any, advice and things on how to secure the building in the meantime
yes.
this year.
Oh, okay.
And so I sent her different things
Yeah.
that CORSA told me, and she said she'd relay it to you.
Yeah.
And it's already been taken care of.
Barricades are out, the signs are up.
It's all,
Okay.
yeah.
We're-
Okay, so yeah, that's what she said, you guys would update me.
Yep, okay, we didn't know what she was,
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't shut off any utilities or anything like
Okay.
that, but yes, I guess you're considering it an abandoned building or the notice we got, so that's how it's being insured or covered. So that's why we barricade to keep public out. So
It's the best you can.
Yes.
we'll be maintaining mowing the grass and things
Yeah.
like that, but yeah, the building's empty.
Sounds good.
And I increased the contents for what was left, like mainly the copy, that copier that's leased for that,
That's right.
for them. I added that content coverage to Kohler Street, so that there's still the coverage there. So that's already been done, the
Good.
process.
Cause it's been moved.
Yeah. Got that taken care of.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is that the only, like, hot topic?
That was, yeah, mainly I brought all my emails about Hardin Hills here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So then I'll just kind of jump in and just kind of highlight, the document that I passed out to you. Again, it highlights things for Hardin County and then the program as a whole.
Okay,
And, just wanted to note that Hardin County's been a member since 1989, so you're right there almost on the cusp of when it evolved in 1987, so you've been a lifetime member, I would say, been a while. And we listed your exposures as of 2025, your total insured value and your payroll, autos, deputies, and detainees. And the reason I did that was just to give you an idea of how much value you are insuring with your property and liability coverage. And those are your hot ticket items. I mean, that's what we rate on. So just to give you an idea. And then to the right of that, I showed your annualized premium from 2024, which for Hardin County, it did decrease this year. Usually when we start when we have a renewal, then throughout the year, any changes, adds, deletes, what have you, you do not get charged for. But we keep track of that and we have to true up at the next renewal. Most of the time it's an added cost there that just the county did not have to pay a premium for during that time, but we just had to true up those numbers as if we did charge you. And so this year with some of your exposure changes, you did decrease a little bit. So then your renewal this year on the net was $237,472, which, as Chelsea said, was a 3.52% increase over last year. So obviously you guys did phenomenally well. And for the reasons that with taking the county home off and so forth. Another piece that we like to acknowledge is your credits. So this year on your invoice, you showed a credit of $30,228. And there's two pieces to that. One is the loss control incentive program that, we understand there's some work put into it by the county and its employees to do some different classes and so forth and hit different, check different boxes and so forth to earn these credits. But this year, there was $3,132 that was returned as a credit to the county under the loss control incentive program. And we feel it's a good program too, just in the fact that it brings out some educational pieces to the employees, maybe just friendly reminders if you did a cybersecurity piece or something like that this year, just to keep people on their toes a little bit, and so the remaining $27,000 was the dividend that the pool returned back to its members this year. And that's based on how much you paid your loss fund and how many years you've been in the pool and so forth. So, you're starting to see a pretty good dividend on your member equity there. The next chart has to do with the pool as a whole. So just wanted to put this in here to show our members that, for the last 5 years, our loss fund has gone up a little bit. And then administrative fees have gone up a little bit too, but as you can see, in 2021, total reinsurance cost was $4.7 million, and this year it was 11.7. So you can see that that's really where we're seeing a lot of our increases again, is on that reinsurance side. Not a lot that we as a pool here in Ohio can do, except for the fact that our board of directors and John Brownlee, the managing director, they have been working behind the scenes a little bit over the last couple of years since we've seen 10% increases in the last couple of years. Try to find other avenues that maybe we can help our members kind of either flatten out that cost a little bit or reduce it somewhat. And so they are working on that. They actually have something, we're putting out an RFP this year for a project that we think, if that comes to fruition, that we're gonna end up taking on a little bit of more risk, but we think we can do that because Ohio is a safe state where, where we're located. And we could maybe not have so many tornadoes, that would help us, but we might take on a little bit more risk, but then that would help on our reinsurance figure. So just wanted to let you know that, the board and, John are looking at some things to maybe help the pool in that respect. One nice thing this year that we were able to do is, on the cyber coverage, we were able to bring out a more robust coverage for our members. For instance, we don't have it really, John needs to sign the paperwork and find the coverage and stuff, but we're there. It's just we can't bring out specifics yet. But one thing is that, the coverage is gonna go up to a 2 mil aggregate per member, so you'll have that where you just had 1 mil before. And, it will include ransom, whereas before ransom was limited to $50,000. So now that ransom could be included in there too, in that aggregate. So a lot, hopefully we don't have to use it, but there is, higher limits that are available to our members. So that's a plus. And, then we also have our reimbursement program for this year. We have the law enforcement piece, which your sheriff takes, he submitted, for body, I'm gonna say cameras, because I was gonna say, I'm not sure if they were backing cameras or body cameras, to be honest. I apologize. As I'm talking, I'm like, ooh, I'm not quite sure. So maybe body cameras. So he did apply for some reimbursements in that line item, and so he received $7,500 back this year in that respect. Those items are still available for this year on the law enforcement side, and our loss control gentleman, you probably know, Ken Hilty retired this year, so Steve Flory is kind of taking it over now, and so he'll, get with your sheriff and go over those, what's available to him and see if there's anything that he would like to use this year. And then on the cybersecurity piece, we do have $5,500 available and for reimbursement. And I just want to reiterate that anything IT related, anything you've done to upgrade your IT, if you're using Nobi 4, you can submit that, that purchase or that subscription every year for reimbursement. Just anything related, again, to IT. If you just submit the document to Frank Hatfield and that you paid it, the voucher and so forth, and what it was for, and we can reimburse you the $5,500. So at least then you can put that back into some, either IT or someplace else.
I don't know if it applies, but I'll bring it up anyway. And that is several years ago, and I'm sure it's already been applied. But several years ago, we had a complete rewiring down at the courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
CAT and everything like that. So I'm
Yes.
assuming that with new enhanced rewiring that was done probably was 22, 23. Anyway, that should already be applied to our rates, and I'm assuming. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I think there was a grant for that,
Mm-hmm. We've had this grant for
5,000.
years, yeah, it was probably,
That grant.
Yeah,
I
it
think
was
we
this-
applied for it back then.
yeah,
So,
yeah. So, but I just wanted you to know it's available again this year too.
every year, yes.
Yeah.
Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
I sit on the multi-county jail board. I see you have jail booking software and jail body scanners. How does that work? Any reimbursement? Is Marion County also CORSA?
Marion County is
So
also,
their jail,
mm-hmm,
so
so.
who
So
gets
which board do you
reimbursed?
sit on? I'm sorry, so which board do you sit on?
Multi-county
The multi-county?
jail with Marion,
Okay,
yeah.
so
Hardin, Marion, or Marion, Hardin.
Marion
County
Hardin,
jail.
yes. So the jail would, apply for that, and
Okay,
then they would be Graham, so then they would receive the reimbursement. If they're the ones that paid,
we each pay a percentage,
okay, cause we do have them listed as a separate entity. So they have their own coverage, so they would apply for
Okay.
any grants. Yeah, but they are more than welcome to apply for those also.
Cause I don't recall them ever bringing that to the board or talking about a reimbursement.
Well,
I'll tell
it
them.
would
to
be a
file.
good, yes, it would be a good discussion to have.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, it would.
Cause they're just getting ready to order a whole bunch of body cameras
Cameras,
for
okay.
in the jail and the transports, cause
Yeah, so that would be a good, yeah, so we could at least help out on that project.
I'll tell the director.
Yes, definitely. And then, have him get in touch with Steve Flory, his emails down there at the bottom of that section. He would be a good one for, the director to get a hold of and talk through that process, or see what else might be available. Cause each of these areas under law enforcement, we just have so much, per line item, so I mean, it's not like it's, 5,000 and if they do the cameras, then they're done, there's different amounts for each item, so. Yes, that's what we're here for, we'd like to return some money back, definitely, and help out.
I guess it's nice to know they're a separate entity.
Yes, so Marion
File
Hardin is
for that.
covered under, yes, they are their own entity with us.
Okay.
Mhm.
Good.
Okay. The only other piece I wanted to, just mention, just so everybody's aware, is that last year we, discussed, because we'd seen our second year of, 10% increase. We talked about, deductible changes a little bit, and, some counties did it, some didn't, and, we had been at $2,500 deductible since 1987 when we started the program. This year, to help our members with pricing on the premium side, what we did, and this was suggested through some of the members last year with these discussions on deductibles, a lot of them, and you guys might have been in this conversation too, with the fact that we were suggesting maybe raising the deductible to 5,000. And other members were like, well, we would maybe raise our property to 5,000, but if we could keep the auto at 2,500. Auto incidences are, where we see the frequency and severity. So it helped the member if we keep that at 2,500. And so that's what we've done this year. We have kept auto at 2,500, and then we have raised, the property to 5,000. And, so just to keep that in mind, but it, like I said, auto is where, the frequency is, so. It's just because you're deputies and engineers, that's the name of the game, they're on the street all the time, so. But just to let you know that we did, increase that a little bit this year on the deductible end. I think I hit all of my high points today.
I don't really have anything else either, we've touched on everything about the invoice and hard bills and.
Do you have anything for me to take back to Columbus?
No, just the jail thing was new to me, and we paid 21.67% of the jail bill.
Okay,
So if there's a reimbursement, I wanna make sure Hardin County gets
definitely.
get that, all of them
I need
get
for
it,
that,
Marion
yes,
and Hardin
Marion
County,
and
and we get
Hardin,
ours.
because then that helps, yeah.
You probably haven't applied to one bill, correct, which is.
It probably goes to that.
Yes, so it would go to
And
them.
then you would split it out accordingly.
Mm-hmm,
But all.
or just the fact that they can put that back in
Yeah.
to help
Yeah.
with risk management
Well,
too, and hopefully maybe then that will lower your,
With them making a purchase,
Mhm.
put it towards the purchase.
And credit towards the purchase, so that would help too, yes, definitely.
Ultimately, we still get our cut, but
Mm-hmm, right, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It works out all in the end.
I don't think they probably have up to this point, at least I've never heard them talking about a CORSA rebate, or, I guess that's what you'd call it.
Yeah,
CORSA
yeah.
rebate.
Yeah,
So,
like I said, I will make sure Steve Forey, is in contact, but, if you can put it on your end too, and just make sure that, yeah, they know about it and everything, but,
yeah, I'll get a
yeah.
director.
yeah, 'cause
over there,
definitely.
so. His name's Steve also.
Is it? Okay. I was just looking real quick. Do you have any questions, or especially Commissioner Sherman, anything new?
No, it's pretty much cut and dry right there.
Okay,
I
perfect.
don't have anything else, Tim, do you?
I can't, at this point, no.
Okay, well, you were my first meeting, and I hope they all go to the season.
Well, you set the tone,
Well, we were at
but we do that.
3.52%, it makes this meeting
We
easy.
didn't know how much.
Yes, it does.
We didn't realize how much, but we do that.
Yeah, you guys are probably one way, you probably are my easiest one too, yes.
Well, we.
No, perfect, well, thank you for taking the
Oh,
time
thank you.
today to
Yeah.
meet with us. and-
We appreciate it.
Yep.
Nice, so how long's your construction going on out
Well,
here?
we're
I'll
trying
tell you what,
to,
we'll turn
the
things.
city is anyway, we're.
You're not
Yeah, the city.
behind this one, are you?
Yeah.
Glad to not have your name on this one, right?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
City's
Yes,
got us
it's-
surrounded, right?
Yes, they do, yeah.
We're trying to do elections while you're out of the courthouse, but you're out in the city.
That's difficult, yeah.
Challenging, but
It
it's
is.
working.
It's working, good, that's good. Well, it'll be nice when it's done.
It'll be nice.
You
Yeah,
know?
absolutely.
Yes. Well, you all have a nice rest of
Okay,
your day,
you
we'll
too.
see you soon.
All right,
Sure.
thank you.
Thank you.
Take care. Thank you
Thank you.
again.
Okay, good.
Hey, Joe. We can sign you.
Got some yard mowed yesterday, but man, was it windy, about lost a ball cap out there a couple times, it'd be like.
Was that your first mower?
Yeah, on some of it, I still got 10 acres total to mow.
I still need to do a first mower.
Some of it wasn't that bad, of course, we mow the road ditches, and we got the pond, and my place, and then the other place, farm over there, and then hopefully she does that, so.
For me, I'm purposely waiting until I get a delivery made on.
Some of it was wet.
Yeah.
I mean, I just didn't want to track through it, it wasn't where it was overly grown up, it's a green, but it wasn't really thick yet.
So I'm assuming the grass was tough.
It just had that old winter grass in it, mixed in.
Well, what I mean
It wasn't bad.
Like when you bale hay, if you got tough hay, right, it's damp.
Yeah, no, this wasn't bad, cause it was 5 o'clock and I mowed for 2.5 hours, so. It's good to at least see how it was out there, so you start panicking when this rain comes, you can't get all ants on your head, it's like, oh my God, I gotta get out there. Gotta pick up a ton of limbs yet, the other place, but.
Nah, it'll get better.
Yeah, I know, these first few days are wonky, I mean, it's ugly, it's the ugly stage, then comes the dandelion, once you get through the dandelion stage, it's kind of fun.
I've seen dandelions out, but it was like,
I know,
it's
I
crazy.
had two, usually it's the first of May, but they're early, I've seen that too.
That's from the weather, it's like, I haven't had any warm weather really. It's like mushroom weather.
Yeah. Have you done any of that yet, or?
No, just before the sun factor's not going.
I would think there'd be much out there.
I think when it does, it'll be one day wonder, it'll heat up and it'll be there with Mark.
Yeah. Well, I guess you to sign in here, buddy. I figured
both
of you.
I figured you'd need some.
I was wondering where you was at, I was like checking the time,
Well,
Jack,
actually,
so late.
you need to refill your candy bowl there. report, Mark. Well, I hope I'll go on with the wind when I go home, because it's blowing out there.
10:57.
Right, walking down the street and all that dust, it's killer.
They cleared all them trees out, man, did that look good.
Yeah.
That looks like it did over here, but it makes, it's cleared all the signage off, all the posts, anything would stand, you know, gone.
Street lights, trees.
Remember the, ODOT days when we couldn't cut trees down during the month of?
Oh, yeah, cause of the bat.
Yeah.
Indiana bat.
Indiana bat.
Yeah, that made a world of difference.
I mean, we could cut them down, but we couldn't cut them down at just a certain time of the year.
They got old bird nesting right now. Yesterday, there was a trailer over here with a tree.
I seen that, I didn't know where that come
Chain.
from, that wasn't one of the fears.
I don't think it was here.
I didn't think so.
It
It
was
looked like
one
it
of the
was been
workers, because it was, I think his truck and trailer.
It did look like a
Cut
fresh
that thing
cut.
down somewhere.
Yeah, that's a big trunk.
That was huge. That was, my guess, a 300 to 500-year-old tree. And it was solid.
It
Oh,
looked like, yeah, it looked like it.
Now, that's a
Get
big
some wood out.
range, but it didn't look that big.
Get some wood out of that.
I didn't wanna count the ring.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. If you didn't sign the sign-in sheet, please do so before, meetings, or after the meeting anyway. So this is, something we do almost every year. We conduct 2 public hearings for the Community Development Block Grant and the Home Investment Partnerships Program. So this is the first public hearing out of 2 that we'll have for the program year 2025 CBDG Home program. The first public hearing is just a general overview of the various programs that we can apply for and what's available and what we've used in the past here as a county. So, CDBG, is, approximately 82 million will be available statewide, for CDBG, home, and other various statewide programs, for program year 2025. Goals of CDBG and home programs must meet 1 of 3 national objectives. Benefit low to moderate income, LMI persons of at least 51%, aid and elimination of slums and blights, which is typically your demos, and meet an urgent need that poses a serious threat, immediate threat to health and welfare of the community where other financial resources are not available. This is typically a natural disaster type thing or something like that. It's totally unexpected. We generally fall under one of the first 2, which is benefit low to moderate income, 51% LMI, or aid and elimination of slums and blights, which is your demolition type projects. In order to become low to moderate income, 51%, you have to meet that either through a census data that has proven you are 51% low to moderate income, or a door-to-door survey, and we've done both over the years. So with that, in order to be eligible, you have to at least meet those top two, to be considered for any kind of projects. The first one falls under Community Development Program. Under that are three different types of programs that we utilize: the allocation grants, the neighborhood revitalization grants, and the critical infrastructure grants. So the allocation grants, we typically can apply for up to around 152,000. Cities and counties are eligible, but for our county, only the county is eligible. Applications are due June 11th, 2025. It must meet the national state objective. This can fund a variety of different infrastructure projects, slum and blight, or remove architectural barriers or stuff like that. So we funded quite a bit of program or projects with this over the years. We're only allowed to apply for Hardin County, falls in the odd years, and there are a limited amount of applications we can have open at one time, and we're maxed out at that point right now. So we will have a monitoring in May. That'll clear us for 2 applications that we can apply for in June. But we are maxed out with what we can apply for. So moving on to the next one is the neighborhood revitalization grants. Purpose is to target investment of public and private resources to improve the quality of life, livability, and functionality of distressed areas and neighborhoods to carry out a comprehensive strategy of revitalization. We can apply for up to $750,000 on this. Eligible applicants for counties and cities who are CDBG allocation grantees. Villages must apply through the county. Application timing on this is June 11th, 2025. This one is highly competitive. It is, again, we're maxed out on where we can apply, but we hope to clear some room in May once we get monitored and be able to apply in June. We have utilized this program extensively over the last 15 years or so, and we're currently working in Ada on a variety of projects for this neighborhood revite, and we're in the planning stages and application stages for Patterson right now. We've held several community meetings on Saturdays, and so we're moving along on an application for that. This can target a lot of different things: roads, streets, parks, rec, tornado sirens, general infrastructure, water, sewer, storm, roads, bridges, slum and blight. We can do demo, storm sewer, stuff like that. And we tend to have 5 activities that we apply for. We can have more than that, but our target is at least 5 different type of infrastructure type activities when we make an application to make sure it's a well-rounded and balanced application. So again, these are highly competitive, and those are due June 11th, 2025. All communities, if we get Patterson funded, they have all 9 municipalities, incorporated municipalities, will have been funded with this at least one time, and that was always a plan to work our way around the county and make sure assistance hit each and every one of those at least once. So once we get through this, we would start to look at going back around the county again in some sort of cycle. But if we get Patterson funded, it will be the last of the 9 municipalities that we will hopefully get.
How long does it take to make that cycle?
Well, it's every 2 years we can apply for, and assuming we hit the every 2 years, it could take 16, 18 years. If you miss one of those and don't get funded, that just pushes everything out. So easily 15 to 20 years to make our rounds. So the next is the critical infrastructure grants, which we've utilized this program quite a bit. The purpose is created to assist communities with funding for high priority, single purpose projects such as roads, flood and drainage, and other public facilities, projects with high community-wide impact and benefit primarily residential areas. So we utilize this in a lot of our communities. Not everybody has had a chance to compete for this. One, because they just aren't ready for a type of project. We've done a lot of flood and drainage type projects with this, several in Ada. We did one in Kenton, we've done 2 in Forest, and we're working on another one in Kenton for some storm sewer drainage. But we have mentioned this to all the communities. We're working in Ridgeway right now for phase 2, storm sewer down there. That just was recently funded in 2024. So again, we're gonna try to hit, every community, and they're all aware. that this exists, it's just a matter of finding the right competitive, application to put together. So, tends to be storm sewers tends to be something that they like more than other type of projects, and that's why we've generally focused on this. So, 500,000 is what we can apply for. Eligible applicants are counties and cities who are CBDG allocation grantees, and villages must apply through the county. Again, the application cycle, the first round for this is June 11th. If there are rounds after that, they'll usually be later in the year unless the money and the applications are good enough. These are competitive as well. There may only be one round, but I've seen them go up to 3 rounds. So depending on what kind of money you put. So the next are the economic development loan and public infrastructure grant programs. There's 3 of those that we've worked with over the past. There's economic development loan program, the economic development public infrastructure grant program, and the residential public infrastructure grant program. We've utilized every one of these at some point in time over the course of several years. The first one is the economic development loan program. The purpose is to create and retain permanent private sector job opportunities, principally for low and moderate income persons through the expansion and retention of business and industry in Ohio communities. Funding is up to $500,000 for direct loans only, on-site capital improvements, which tends to be equipment, maybe some inventory. There's some other eligible activities. That's generally what it's used for loan, and set at some sort of interest rate. Eligible applicants are counties and cities. Counties must apply on behalf of villages and townships. Counties may also apply on behalf of cities within their jurisdiction. It's an open cycle grant. July 1, 2025 is the start of that for PY 2025 program year. So we utilize this. I'll mention the other one real quick, and then I'll go over some examples that we utilize this on. So the other one is, there's a loan program and there's a grant program for economic development, and the purpose is to do the same purpose as I just mentioned. $500,000 for grants, off-site infrastructure, water, sewer, that type of stuff. Eligible applicants are the same. And application timing is July 1, 2025, open cycle. So we've utilized both these, and useful lead agencies on this is the Hardin County Chamber of Business Alliance, or back then it was the Economic Development Office. And we've worked with them and assisted with them on how to administer and implement the grant, but they're typically the lead. Both require a lot of strings attached with them to be able to compete for this money. So much, the loan program, I think, requires, rounding this, around $35,000 a job is what you're able to get assistance for on creation and retention. And then the grant is, I think, around $10,000 per job for retention and creation of new jobs. That's how much, that depends how much money you get. You get capped up to $500,000 on each. So, some of the past businesses we've assisted, just offhand, is Enoclass, Sakasui, which is now Sakasui now. Enoclass, we've also worked with Precision Strip on off-site infrastructure and both on-site infrastructure or capital improvements. And it's been a long time ago, but we've also assisted the factory there in Dunkirk that's beside the water treatment plant on 81. It was, can't remember what it was called when we assisted with it, but it's been 20 some years ago. So it has been utilized over the years. The next one is the Residential Public Infrastructure Grant Program. This is to create create safe and sanitary living environments for Ohio citizens through the provision of safe and reliable drinking water and proper disposal of sanitary waste. So this just focuses on water and sewer, sanitary sewer only. We've utilized this in 6 of the 9 municipalities over the years. Some have had multiple funding rounds on this for various water or sanitary sewer. Total is $750. This is competitive as well. It's a max that we can apply for. This one, it is a definitive match. The other ones they are recommended matches or some sort of commitment from the local governments, but it doesn't say how much sometimes. It's kind of, ambiguous on how much we should put in on the previous ones I just mentioned, but this one is a 1-for-1 match, $1 grant, $1 their investment from the local community at a minimum. Eligible applicants are counties, cities, and villages. Counties can apply on behalf of townships and unincorporated areas, and this is an open cycle, July 1, 2025. So this has been utilized, like I said, in 6 of the 9 municipalities. Primarily, we focused on sanitary sewer. So, as we all know, the needs are there for this type of program. So, next is the Housing, Shelter, and Support Services Program, which is the one that we participated in the past, is a Community Housing Impact and Preservation CHIP program, known as the CHIP program. This is to provide funding for flexible community-wide approach to the improvement and provision of affordable housing, low and moderate income persons, and to help develop administrative capacity. We were able to apply for this in the last several rounds. Is $700,000. We partnered with the city of Kenton in Hardin County to be able to do that. They gave us a little bit more money that we can apply for. Counties and cities are eligible to apply. The application cycle is June 19th, 2025. Again, this is highly competitive. We have, as you're aware, we have suspended this program indefinitely until we deem necessary to get back in it. So that's just one that's also available. So, also, do you have any questions? Anybody have any questions on these? This is just a broad overview. There's some minor other ones that we can apply for. There's some flexible grants, but it's really narrowed down what you can apply for on those. But this is the gist of what we apply for as a county. So, if there anything else, I just want to announce before I'm done. Part of our effort in applying for CBDG is every 2 years we have to hold a community development implementation strategist, or a CEDIS meeting. This is determined. I sent letters out to various, all the villages and any other stakeholders that would be interested in it. We're holding a meeting here in Betts Hall on April 18th at 11 a.m. to discuss possible projects that would be coming up through 2025, 2026, and beyond. So I just want to announce that as part of a requirement that we have to meet as CBDG requires in our application. So that's all I have.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
You're always on top of everything, Mark.
Well, there's a lot to it, and I appreciate that. And so,
On top of everything.
I need to get
A lot of your efforts have gone to help out a lot of communities here.
we try to balance it out and pass it around. We do that with OPWC as well, or Ohio Public Works Commission. Just try to make sure everybody gets their law and fairness. So, and the needs are there. I mean, we've got a big infrastructure need, not only in this county but across the country. So,
Thank you for this.
I need to get your signature real quick.
Gotcha.
You signed the resolution last week, so.
Blue.
So all of this would be separate than the issue 2?
Issue 2 is on the ballot. It's under issue 2. I know they've named it other issue numbers, but issue 2 is on the ballot, in May, for a renewal of 10-year program at $2.5 billion, $250 million a year that they'll distribute out through the districts. And, we've benefited from that greatly as a county. You did the resolution.
You've given us an idea how much we have benefited.
Well, I tried to go back and
I know you did.
and we've done around, I'm gonna say 183 projects throughout the county since its inception, which was 1987. It passed in 87, I think, and then got implemented in 88, 89. To try to go back, so 183, but within that 183, there were multiple jurisdictions involved, like 5 townships under one application, stuff like that. So when you break that out, we're well into the 200 something. But I'm going to say with all the funding groups that are involved with OPWC, Ohio Public Works Commission, I'm going to say we're between $80 to $100 million of what we've gotten as a county. I'm basing that on small government, emergency funds, LTIP, and STIP. So that's kind of how OPWC is broken down into. And that's a guesstimate, but it'd take a minute to go back through and add all that up. But it's gonna be roughly around there, so.
This is where he usually asks for a raise.
So, but we've gotten, been able to help a lot of communities out with that. So most are widening projects, for townships generally have utilized that, even the county has, but, a lot of water, sewer, water treatment plants, wastewater treatment plants. We're limited on what we can apply for as well on that, which is fine. It makes the money get spread around a little more in our district. So we're in District 16 out of 19 districts. It's an 8-county district, so we compete within that 8 counties. And then small government is another pot of money that we can apply for that's statewide that you compete for. So we've been able to snag, and James Aid has benefited from that. And it's for populations of 5,000 others, so counties and cities aren't eligible. But yeah, we definitely urge support of issue 2.
That's a renewal for 10 years.
10 years, 2.5 billion, 250 million given out a year for each round. It started out, so they've increased that over every 10-year cycles. I think it started out at 120, and now we're up to 1.22 million, or billion, and we're up to 2.5 billion.
Mark also supports us for our loans or our grants through ODNR too. He is a very good help on that. That's, making works, making water and things, so. A lot of things.
A lot of things, that's
It's not. Well, again, Mark, thank you very much for
Thank you.
all that you do.
Yep. Thank you.
Keep us going.
You guys.
When's your last day?
June 20th. If I last that long.
Oh,
I still have
hey, Mark, are you gonna still be in the office for a minute? I think so.
I made a call to the Mully County Director, Steve. Passed on this CORSA rebate for the software and the scanner, like antibody scanners.
What is that again, Tim?
I just passed it along for him to look up their body cameras.
Oh, I see.
They're buying now, they can probably get a rebate.
It might be.
They need in-car cameras too. Transporting a lot of people all over the state of Ohio. To and from courts.
You guys know what your executive session, category is that's coming up?
It will be what is it? G3.